It's not often that the Church of England and the National Secular Society find themselves on the same side of an argument, but they have united in their outrage, which is probably not too strong a word, over the way the Home Office handled a recent asylum case. Home Office told an Iranian Christian convert that he was being denied asylum on the grounds that violent passages in the Bible were inconsistent, and this is a quote, with your claim that you converted to Christianity after discovering it's a peaceful religion. Nathan Stevens of the solicitors Fadiga & Co. is the immigration caseworker for the man in question. Good morning.
Good morning, Ed.
It is quite a startling letter, isn't it?
It is, of course, yes. And the outrage that's been shown, like you said, has been almost universal.
Going through passages of the Book of Revelations, quoting sort of rather alarming-sounding biblical language and suggesting that means that Christianity is not a peaceful religion.
Yes, I mean, I think it's the claimed sort of theological position of this particular decision-maker, but unfortunately it does reflect a wider problem with decisions on asylum cases.
We obviously asked to talk to a minister from the Home Office, and that we had no joy there, but the Home Office have said, and I'm quoting again, this letter is not in accordance with our policy approach to claims based on religious persecution, including conversions to a particular faith, and we are urgently investigating this matter.
Yes, I mean, it does have to be said that this is not a completely isolated issue by any means in relation to Christian conversion, but also on a much wider basis in relation to asylum decisions. But those dealing with religion and belief in particular have, in many cases that I've come across and many other practitioners have, very troubling decision-making from many different people in different departments.
But just on this particular issue, we should say that they've put things on hold, haven't they?
Yes.
They haven't completed the denial process.
That's well, in fact, they've agreed to reconsider their decision, which is a remarkable turnaround within a very short space of time, very unusual, but great to see for this particular client, although we're not there yet, there's more to do.
Is it a question of being ignorant about the way religions work as much as anything else, do you think?
I mean, quite possibly for this individual, but in a wider context, I think a lack of training, a lack of appropriate guidance for individual caseworkers in the interviews and making the decisions on these claims.
And one can't help thinking of that phrase, a hostile environment for illegal immigration. Do you think that's a factor?
I think that really is a factor that is. I mean, it shouldn't filter down to asylum, in my opinion, but it clearly does. And this is something that we're seeing more and more in asylum decisions. And
what do you say? Lack of training, is that one area that you think should be addressed?
I think certainly. I mean, I think thankfully there is something something major which is being put into place, which I'm sure Baroness Berridge will be talking about. But I think that's a major area, yes, that needs work from the Home Office.
Well, Baroness Berridge is indeed with us, but we're going to come to you in a moment or two. But just picking up what Nathan Stevens has said about the fact that there have been other cases of this kind. I spoke to another Iranian Christian convert about her experiences. She asked to remain anonymous, and we've disguised her voice and that of her translator.
When I was in Iran, I converted to Christianity and the situation changed and the government were looking for me and I had to flee from Iran.
For those of us who aren't familiar with the situation in Iran, can you tell me what the position of Christians is and why it's difficult for Christians in Iran?
Because in my country, if someone converts to Christianity, their punishment is death or execution.
Tell me about the asylum process. How did you come forward and what happened when you did?
But first, when I applied for asylum, the person who interviewed me was a very young and inexperienced person. Throughout the interview process, every time that he was asking a question and I was responding back to him, he was either chuckling or maybe just kind of mocking when he was talking to me.
Really? He was laughing at your responses? What sort of questions did he ask?
For instance, he asked me why Jesus didn't help you from Iranian regime or Iranian authorities.
So he wanted to know, let me get this clear, he wanted to know why Jesus hadn't helped you deal with the Iranian police and so forth.
در نهایت میخواست اینو به من بفهمونه که
He was trying to tell me that, or maybe just claim that I'm not a real Christian and he does not believe in my faith, or maybe my faith is just half-hearted. That's what he was trying to show me.
But he was, by the sound of it, it was clearly a hostile interview. He was looking for reasons to deny you asylum. Is that the impression you came away with?
دقیقاً همینطوریه که شما میگید.
I don't think that he was treating me fairly, or he was not giving the decision fairly as well, and he was not understanding my faith and myself and how I was talking about Jesus.
And what happened subsequent to that interview?
بعد از اینترویو من
Following the interview, I've been feeling scared and I've been crying, I've been feeling depressed because it has affected me.